Then later on, I got busy, and when I got busy, I realized, oh, it's so much easier to do stuff. It like unlocks a sleeping.
Well, you weren't
giant.
so depressed too, right? You
Talked
about back pain.
Everything is yes, but everything is just a
misery.
I mean, you don't have transportation. So, I borrow my friend's motorcycle. I get a job painting commercial offices for $6 or $7 an hour in Century City. I can't pay $22 for parking in Century City. So I take his motorcycle and I park it off sort of to the side of the structure and whatever. Put in 12 hours. We'd work four 12-hour days, I think. Put in 12 hours of painting offices, go down, the motorcycle's gone.
Oh.
It got towed. I walk around. There's no note or anything. It's just gone. I go walking around the fucking mall, Century City Mall, find somebody. They verify it's been towed. It's been towed to Santa Monica. I don't have money. I don't have credit cards. I don't have anything. I walk home to North Hollywood.
What? From Century City?
Oh, well, I hitchhike and walk.
Oh,
I'm walking and hitchhiking, and I get picked up on Santa Monica, and I get taken as far as Laurel Canyon, and then I just start walking up Laurel Canyon. I'm hitchhiking again, and I get picked up again. Eventually,
This is like 30 miles.
Yeah, eventually I don't have a credit card. I don't have a phone. I don't have any money.
Oh.
I don't have anything. I'm walking, and then I get home and. Now it's 7:00 at night, and the car's in Santa Monica, the motorcycle's in Santa Monica, and it's not mine. I borrowed it. So now I got to cobble together like $120 or something.
So that's two days of painting.
Yeah.
Do you get paid cash? At least there's no tax on that?
No. And I cobble the money together, and I got to get a ride from somebody. I don't have a car to Santa Monica to go get the fucking thing out. By the time I get it out of the...
And how do you figure out where it is? You have to look in the yellow pages,
impound
Santa Monica.
Of the place that whatever you're calling them, and then I can pick the thing up 9:00 at night. Then I got to ride a motorcycle from Santa Monica back to North Hollywood. I had to be at work next day at 7. I get home at 10:00 at night.
God, thank God you were young.
That's it. That day's pay and then some went to the guy who towed the bike. That's how being poor. That's how my life was. That I had 15 of those days. Every day was a version of that. That's how it worked.
More or less, a better or less bad version of that.
Yeah, and then you get beaten down. It's just like, oh fuck, and then you start like shit goes to warrant and stuff like I can't fucking pay that shit. And that's it. That's it. I've had 3 motorcycles towed. 3. No, let's see. One. What was the one where your mom told you? 4.
They all, most of them yours, or?
One was Chris's bike out of Century City. One was Umgad Abu Zamzam borrowed my motorcycle to get to UCLA, got the license plate stolen at UCLA, brought it back, just sort of dropped it back off to me and went, yeah, someone stole the license plate. And then I parked in front of my apartment building, and it got towed for not having a license plate. And then when I picked it up, I said to the guy, should they be towing a bike that got its license plate stolen? And he said, no, they should have checked the VIN number on the whatever. And I said, oh, okay, so I'll be taking. And the guy goes, no, it's still $100. I mean, you still got to pay me. I go take it up with the DMV or so. Go to the DMV and argue. And I was like, oh, fuck it. Paid him, got the bike. That's 2 bikes stolen. The other bike was I was pulled over for not having a class 4 license or whatever, a motorcycle license. That bike got towed.
Jeez. Was that the one where your mom advised you to go down the side streets in Toluca Lake?
No, that was a 4th bike that got towed. But that bike didn't get towed. That bike, I had warrants. I owed, $550. I didn't have $80. I had $550. And I told my mom and my stepdad, thinking maybe there'd be some pity or something. It's funny. No, I didn't get pity because I told him I was working on Ventura Boulevard, and Ventura Boulevard was crawling with cops. There was always cops on Ventura Boulevard. So I said, man, if I get pulled over, I'm getting arrested. And I got to go down Ventura, and Ventura's crawling with cops. I'm sure it's inevitable. And I don't have the money. I was kind of hoping they'd say something like, how much? Or I'll pay it and you can work it off here. Or some version of that. There wasn't any version of that. But my mom did tell me that Valley Spring Lane ran parallel to Ventura. And you could basically avoid taking Ventura by running on Valley Spring Lane, which I did the following morning and was arrested. That guy let me. The one time I was arrested, I was cited. The guy towed the bike.
And did you say to the guy, "What's going on?"
No, I knew what was going on. But this guy, I said, "Look, man, I wasn't arrested for not having a motorcycle license. I don't know why. I was just arrested for warrants." This guy said, I was on a side street. He just said, well, "Go ahead and park the bike." Oh. And then and he handcuffed me, but I got to ride in the front seat of the car. And he took me to North Hollywood Police Station, and then I got thrown in the tank, and then I had to call my friends. And my friends were also broke, so it took like 4 of them. Everyone put up like $125 or something, and they cobbled it together, and they got me out, and then I ended up having to pay them.
What was that, like 1989? 90?
No, that was like 83.
Okay.
That was right before I got.
Because I was just thinking, we were walking those streets when we wrote that book back in 97.
Yeah,
right?
we were more. I was in more Studio City and less Toluca.
I'm just saying, it's odd to me in retrospective. Just 3 or 4 years prior, you'd been.
Well, I know you got a theme in your head, Drew.
No, that's what I was asking.
It was a decade.
Asking.
Yeah, it was.
No.
It was 10 years.
That makes more sense. Makes more sense.
Yeah, but that 4 motorcycles, three towed, and then 1 pulled. And 1 arrested on, but wasn't towed. But 4, everything was, that was my whole life. That's how you lived. That's how everyone lived, by the way. I wasn't the only one living that way. That's my friends. Not like someone had a credit card and came down to the North Hollywood Police Station. They didn't have anything.
One of the interesting
And by the way,
things,
I didn't call my mom or my dad.
No.
What the fuck was that bitch going to do? Cut me a check? I mean,
she's the one that got you arrested.
She's the one who told me not to.
Yeah.
I wish she didn't get me arrested.
I mean, close.
She didn't exactly jump in and help.
She didn't help you not get arrested. That's for sure. But
that's true.
But it's one of the fascinating features of that story is how everyone helped each other.
That's all we have.
But that's an interesting.
No, I called.
I'm not sure that exists anymore.
I called from the jail. I called Ray or Chris or whatever, and I said, I'm in jail, and I know you don't have any fucking money, but get the word out. Go hit up everybody. And Todd, who was our Jewish friend, who's actually, dad was a lawyer, and he was sort of a rebel and everything, but he went to UCLA and stuff. He had a little more of a base. Parents, family, like shit came from something.
Yeah.
He probably kicked in like $300, and Ray and Chris each put in 100 or some version of that, and they got me out. And then I fucking dutifully paid Todd off, like $50 a week for the next, year or whatever the fuck,
So do we have to take a break?
We'll take a break.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
So to take off from your comment about Todd the Rebel, our generation, we've talked about this over the years, how we were sort of casting off the yoke of a previous generation, and how we were sort of elevated the antisocial person, the screwball kid who played the guitar with, skinny 14-year-old that had nothing to offer, then he learned how to play the guitar. And I did Tim Pool's podcast last week, and there were a couple young men in the room, and they were saying things that were so interesting. And you know, with Loveline and all the things we were doing, I did not intend what has happened. I did not intend it. What has happened is completely a surprise. But one of the things they were sort of suggesting is that the reason things are so effed up socially for these young men is our fault, the baby boomers and the Gen Xers and things. And I said, well, first of all, I didn't anticipate this. This is not, but the reason I'm telling you the story is what they were sort of expressing was this desire for direction and structure and sexual mores, and you know, how are you supposed to behave? How should we behave? And how should women behave? Like some throwback to the 50s in kind of an interesting way. And I thought that was just so. I don't know how universal it is, but things are changing like right now. And I saw it in. I think I'm seeing it in commercials. I think I'm seeing it in music. I mean, it was. I was driving over here.
Well, hold on. Andrew, I just want to chime in. You can find the Dodge America Dana White voiced commercial, and we'll find that. Sorry, go ahead.
Is that pertinent to the commercials changing, or?
Well, you said commercials are changing.
Yeah.
No, it's pertinent to
something's happening.
No, it's safe spaces and octagons.
Right.
Volvo's running a spot where a terrorist dad is crying, writing a letter by a White House.
Right.
And talking about dropping his girl off to summer camp and having to pull over because he wept so hard. So he's talking about being a fucking pussy. And then the other one is Dodge. These guys are doing donuts in the desert, and Dana White's yelling, "It's America, bitch." You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the safe space in the octagon.
And there's another kind of flavor of this. On the way over, I was listening. Cardi B came on. I went, wait a minute. I've not heard from Cardi B in a long time, and she was Pepsi commercials pre-COVID. Like she was going to be the commercial enterprise of pre-COVID era, and I thought, oh, wet ass pussy doesn't kind of read the way it did in 2017 or whenever it was 2019, and that felt like a change. Like something's up, something's changed.
No, well, listen, you're going to get a pushback if you keep pushing a certain direction faster than people want to go. So if you
and also more than it feels healthy or makes sense.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everyone is sort of walking down the sidewalk, right? Yeah. Of life. Yeah. And everyone's just sort of walking at a clip. Yeah. But if you're behind them going move, push and push, but at some point they stop. They go, "Hey, fuck off."
Yeah.
I'm not going to go.